transportation, but since COVID, many of them have been afraid to go on the bus. We created a program where we would call a rideshare service for them. We can order the car, we can pay for it, and so they've been using it for medical appointments where they can't do telehealth, and for grocery shopping, and for other shopping trips where they need basic supplies, medication, and things like that. The community piece, when we look at our mission of Keiki Kupuna Community, the community piece has always been about building larger community in a way that what can we do to continue improving our community, making our community a place where everybody thrives. Being in Waikiki, we've seen the devastation of our visitor businesses, our visitor community, and we just felt the need to do something more than what we were doing before. And so one of the things that we decided to do is to be one of the agencies that is administering state rental assistance. It's been a real challenge and a journey to kind of deal with a lot of the timing and the depth and volume of the need, but we are working, literally like 24/7. Our staff is working to get those funds out and to help. We have an emergency food bank of a Hawaii site, and we've had the food pantry for many years, but since COVID, we've seen a more than 400% increase in the use of our emergency food pantry. We're thankful that it's been a blessing that we are here, because our food bank has remained one of the few that you are able to access without a vehicle. What's kept me going is community, that I see people supporting each other. We have people in need who, for instance, one gentleman that received rental assistance was asking us yesterday, what can he do to volunteer for us? What can he do to help? It's that whole feeling of, you're giving aloha, you're getting aloha. Everybody can give and everybody needs help sometimes. And so I've seen so many people step up and help one another. People that, don't have much are giving what they can and helping where they can. Community is everything. And it's through community that we are going to meet our greatest challenges. And this is maybe the biggest challenge we've ever faced, that most of us have faced. But I really believe, seeing the spirit of the people, I am really confident that we're going to come together and we're going to be strong together, and we're going to be able to come out of this together.
I've been coming here for about 12 years, I think. I've taken in about 20 children, and I've adopted 8. My kids get to see their siblings. Some of my other kids see kids that they were in homes with before, like other homes. So kids they haven't seen in years, they catch up with. One of my kids sees foster parents from the past. So they kind of reconnect with either siblings, family members, people they've lived with before. So it has a bigger meaning than just the Christmas party.
So I think the party makes them feel real special. There's 7 of them, so it's not always easy to get all 7 of them together.
With all the children and all their schedules and their extracurriculars, as well as their other siblings, it gets very crazy.
Today it's really nice that they get to all see each other.
I get to see my brothers and sisters and have fun with them. The face paint. You get to be whatever you wanted on your face that you wanted to get painted.
Take a picture with Tana.
Cotton candy, because it's pink.
I think the party makes them feel real special.
I've never seen a production this big. This is the first time I've been to one, and it's super impressive.
It's really nice to have family programs there to support us and give us the tools that we need to take care of our kids' needs and make sure that everything they need is taken care of.
Thank you for setting up this party for us.
Thank you so much for your support, for your generosity, for your time. You know, it just brings a lot of smiles to these children who don't get a lot of this.
To have a big event like this is a blessing because they all get to see each other, and it's a fun, positive environment. It's just something nice for the kids to have a memory of doing together.
What can I do at Art Explorium? Create, explore, make mistakes, solve problems, get messy. Join us for Open Studio, workshops, parties, field trips, community events.
Nurture your creative thinker.
Art Explorium is an earth-friendly, non-profit art studio for children in Kaimuki, Hawaii.
Visit artexplorium.org for our calendar and programs.
Hi, I'm Stacy Waikoloa, American Savings Bank Branch Manager, Hokule Village Branch. It's just a different country feel. Even if you're in town on Kauai, you feel like you're halfway in the country. Chickens everywhere, red dirt, following a tractor to work on occasion. I think people are so friendly here because you need to make things to do. You need to engage with each other, and there's not that huge recreational component such as these big shopping centers and movie theaters. So people have to get out there and work together, live together. There's a lot of community activities that go on. We're going to the Hanapepe Art Night, which is one of a few of the art nights that we have, but that's a regular one every Friday evening down in Hanapepe town. Tons of artists, small shops along the way, and of course the smell of lumpia. It's a deep fried roll with meat and vegetables that even after it's deep fried, you dip it in this ooey gooey sauce. It's very good. If you want to fit in Kauai, make sure you buy a pickup truck. You'll definitely need one of those. Lots of beach towels. Make sure you have an umbrella that's always packed in the back of your car. You'll know you fit in when you get invited to that weekly barbecue at your friend's house. That's a normal thing here. It's just really, really a different lifestyle. I'm up in Wailua and I just love the smell of the rain mixed with that sunny day. Yeah, can't get anything better than that.
Aloha, I'm Colleen, and let me show you all there is to experience at the Battleship Missouri Memorial. The USS Missouri's career spanned over 5 decades and 3 wars. Today it serves as a historic attraction and a tribute to the men and women of the military. This is Steve, one of the awesome tour guides on the Battleship Missouri. He's going to take us to some of his favorite spots here on the ship.
Welcome, Colleen, to the Mighty Moog. Would you like to go check out some special locations?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's go. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is the kamikaze deck. This is where the plane actually struck the side of the ship. It was April 11th, 1945, about 2:40 in the afternoon. We're at the Battle of Okinawa. Other battleships are around us. Kamikaze planes are flying overhead. One of those kamikaze planes comes in low and tight. As he pulls back on that wheel, the nose of the plane pivots and crashes into the side of the ship. Everybody thinks it's a big hole or something like that.
I would think so.
But it's not. It's just a small, tiny indentation along the side.
Wow.
If you didn't know the story,
Yes.
you wouldn't pay any attention to it. You'd walk right past it.
Tell us where we are now, Steve.
So we're one level below the main level of the deck. We're on level 2.
Okay.
And this is more of the private area where the crew slept, ate, relaxed, and enjoyed themselves. This is typical right out of the 50s here. We've got the candy, the soda fountain, the popcorn machine off in the corner. Here we are at the Truman Line. This is actually where the crew came and ate. And when President Truman and his wife visited the ship, they mingled with the crew. They grabbed a tray and they ate whatever food was being served to the crew that particular day and sat down in the mess hall. So we're in the berthing crew area. This is the bunks where the crew used to sleep. There's 3 of them stacked here.
How many are back here?
There's thousands of these on this ship here.
On this ship?
On this ship, yeah. This is only one small section of it.
There's so much to see. Thank you so much, Steve, for showing us around the ship.
My pleasure. It's been fun.
I'm going to go get some shave ice, and you can go to ussmissouri.org to get more information. Hope to see you soon.
What day is it today?
It's Throwback Thursday. Throwback Thursday.
As part of BIP's training, he has agreed to take this durian ice cream challenge. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna buy these this durian ice cream, and let's see if he can do it. All right, here we go. The best part of it all is if he does get into projectile vomiting, he'll have some targets here. He'll have his choice of Wes or Trent. What do you say, friend? Why don't you take a whiff of that? Now, if for any reason this is just too much for you and you need something to wash it down, we got a nice cup of almond tofu, which is delicious and healthy. If anything, you can also give it to the kids. I'm sure that they will appreciate it. They might not talk after that.
Do you guys want some of this?
Oh gosh, they're crazy.
You want it?
Look at his face.
You want to try it?
Look at this. Oh, that was so worth it. Please don't cry. He's gonna start throwing up. But it is shut. God. Can you at least swallow one spoonful right here? Okay. Kids, you might want to cover up. I think this baby Wes did better than Dip did. He actually swallowed it. Even Trent did as well. Would you like some almond tofu? Do you remember eating that ice cream?
No.
Do you want to try it again? I'm Nolan Hong. And we are out of here.
Today we're here with the kids that are between 5 and 12 at the Hawaii Nature Center, and they're doing, hiking. They're learning about nature, about meadows and bugs and birds and all kinds of creatures. They're pretty much excited throughout the whole thing. So from when they get dropped off by their research.
Hello, everyone. Oh, sorry. Here, buttons closer. It's Christmas time. Yay, the beanies and us are in our Christmas spirit. You can kind of make out our snowman and Christmas tree back there. And we want
to adjust the height.
We want to wish you all a happy holidays. Today we are going to be telling you our Christmas wish that we would want nonprofits to know. These are things that we probably have talked about throughout our 40 some odd episodes.
We definitely talked about.
But we figured we'd put them all together into one compact little episode here and share with you the top 5 things we just want nonprofits to know. And if you guys can take these little nuggets, maybe it'll help things for you in 2022. All right. Let's go ahead and get in on here. Want to say hello to Brian, who is spending his vacation with us, right?
He just got back. Well, I think he has a work trip though.
Oh, okay. Well,
so he's working.
Well, welcome back.
Jet lagged.
Okay. First thing that we would want nonprofits to know this Christmas is something that Jamie is just so passionate about. Like, she just really wants people, especially in the nonprofit world, to really take this and run with it. And that is to get your followers onto your newsletter. And that is with the idea that you have a newsletter if you don't make a newsletter. But why is that something that is so important?
Because Facebook's just getting so creepy and evil.
We're not supposed to say that while we're on Facebook. Oh. That was parody, folks. She didn't mean that. Yeah. Let's try that again. Why is it important for people for nonprofits to get followers onto their newsletter and not just rely solely on social media? Not Facebook in particular, but just social media in general. Because a lot of nonprofits focus solely on building their social media following, and that's it.
Because people put so much emphasis on social media, but you're not in control of it at all. And you can get thousands of followers and then only 100 see your post. So it's just something that you have no control over. And there's people that lose their accounts. Just somebody might hack your account and then you get locked out of it and you can't get in touch with tech support because there is no tech support at these social media companies. So you just lose you lose your whole list. You can't contact your followers and you have to start from the beginning. And it actually happens to people because they write about it in marketing groups that I'm on. This has happened to nonprofits who are small and they don't do anything major, and then something happens and they just lose their entire account. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really sad.
Yeah, and we've seen too that, even though you have thousands of followers, that only a small percentage, sometimes 1 to 10% of your followers see your posts. Whereas with a good newsletter list, you know, you can get their attention. Now, whether they open it or not is on you, as far as like compelling subject lines, and also that you're not spamming them so that they think, oh, every newsletter from you is just a bunch of spam. So that's a whole nother argument. But the point of this is to really take a concerted effort to build your newsletter list and make your newsletter mailing list your main source of connection to your followers, and not rely on social media, which is unreliable at this point. Like you have no control over it, as she mentioned. Okay. Anything else about this?
The paid thing too, everybody's always complaining about organic traffic and that you can't get organic traffic anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the case for years now. So
what does that mean? What are you talking about?
Like, people don't just naturally see your posts anymore. You have to pay to promote your stuff. So you're paying money anyway. You may as well just pay a little bit of money to a newsletter thing.
Yeah. So what she's talking about is, I mean, social media platforms, they need to make money. So they've built this. They started it out with it being free for everyone, and everyone just sees everything. And that's where you get used to, you know, using this platform. And then now that they got you, then they go, you want people to see your post? You got to fork up the greenbacks. Get me some of that cheddar, baby. And for most nonprofits, they don't have that kind of budget or money. So they are just like sending out content into the wilderness, and nobody hears it or sees it. Okay, moving on to number 2. We would want you to talk about what your audience wants to know versus what you want them to know. Explain what that means.
You talk.
Okay, so there's so much focus on a lot of nonprofits talking about what they want to tell their audience. Like, we do this, and this is what, and giving facts and numbers and all that stuff. Not thinking about who their audience is and what that audience would want to hear about. If you can change your mindset to thinking about what would my audience want to hear, and having that drive the content and what you talk about, you're going to get way more engagement, way more connection with your audience, because it's just like a human relationship. Like, if I'm just telling her everything I want to tell her about myself, and she has no interest in it, she's going to tune out and not listen, which is most of the time anyway. But if I know, oh, she loves Game of Thrones, she loves Harry Potter, I'm going to talk about that. She'll be like, ding, and her ears will perk up and she'll listen. It's kind of the same thing here with nonprofits. Like, you treat your nonprofit as a person, as you know, like that would be in a conversation, you know, and when you're meeting with somebody. If it's a one-way conversation about things that is only important to you and without regard to what's important to your audience or your follower, they're not going to listen. So then you're going to be talking to nobody again.
This made me think of, I was on a webinar like towards the beginning of the pandemic with the, what is it called? AFP? Hawaii? The fundraising. Oh no, I don't remember what they're called. But they do these like coffee talk things online now, and they had I think it was Lanai Cat Sanctuary.
Oh, cute.
Something like that. But they're doing like amazing with their social media. And the guy was talking about how like they figured out that their audience was like a lot of tourists, like people that came to visit. So they changed what they were posting, and then they got like, it just exploded. Because I don't know what they were sharing before, but then it was just sharing like their cats hanging out. So,
but just knowing that the focus of their content is towards visitors.
Yeah.
So
but like what those people are interested in, they just want to see these cats hanging out.
Yeah. So sometimes, as it relates to nonprofits, sometimes it's like nonprofits are so, used to talking to grants, like writing out grants. So they are used to like stating facts and numbers and data, which to layperson like us doesn't really have much significance or matter to us. But what does matter is like the work that's being done in the community, like the effects that your program has on this group, something like that. Like that's an example of us learning more about what it means, what's relevant to us, what we understand, versus hearing all these numbers and data that may have no relevance to us in our daily lives. Yeah. Next up, number 3.
I'm gonna go blow my nose.
Oh, okay. As Jamie blows her nose, this is kind of ironic. It's no budget is not an excuse for bad quality. And speaking of bad quality, an empty chair here on a live stream. But the idea is like so many nonprofits say the same thing because it's true. Like, oh, we don't have a budget. We don't have the funds for, you know, marketing, communications, which is it's a valid point that you don't have budget. That doesn't mean that you have to put out bad quality stuff. Budget isn't the only thing that can create good quality, right?
Oh, I was going to rewind it, Brian. I'm sorry. I didn't want you to see my Hanabata.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What were you saying?
So I was saying, we're talking about how good quality content doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have money to make it. Yeah. So explain what that means, because I think a lot of people, especially in the nonprofit world, just what is that? Not relegate themselves, but they automatically go, oh, we don't have money, so we're just
we can't do it.
Yeah. So what would you say to that? How would you explain that's not exactly true?
I think, are we talking about like for video? Like,
so let's start with video, and we could of course go to other things too, but since we are a video production company, let's start with video.
I think in the past it would have been like a real reason not to do it because it was so cost prohibitive to do video at all, so people weren't really able to do it. Mm-hmm. But now you can do it with your phone, and I think we've done videos on, oh no.
At least she's not walking away this time.
I have one here. So we've done like how to do it. You can do a good video with just your phone as long as you keep it simple and like you really keep it simple and I can't talk.
So sometimes quality can come across as not just the technical side of it, like, oh, look at the beautiful coloring and the camera quality. Quality can be the type of content that you are putting in there. So some ways that you can improve your quality that doesn't have to do with budget is having an actual like idea of what the point of this video is going to be about, being cognizant of what your audience wants to hear, just being prepared. Even like if you're shooting with your phone, you know, having it set on something that can keep it steady versus like a lot of the times we see this like shaky stuff like this, and it's just like, oh man, if you just like had put like a book and laid it on there, it could stay still. Or, you know, just being aware of like you have control over things that can make for better quality. And as to Jamie's point, like especially on social media, we've gotten so comfortable with seeing non-professional footage out there because people are constantly posting their own, you know, self-shot videos and stuff. So for a nonprofit organization to do the same, there would be no problem with that. It's a problem when your video is boring, has no point, is super long, super shaky, and just like, oh, you guys you didn't even try. You know, that's what it is. So the quality really relies on the content that you're creating, not the technical side of it, not the professional videography of it. Now talk about this argument for not just video, but even maybe for social media posts and stuff. Because people before would think, oh, I have to hire a social media expert to run our social media accounts and stuff. But that's not necessarily the case. They used to think, oh, you have to post like every day and like all this kind of like crazy stuff, which was just too time consuming for nonprofits to do themselves. But now,
I think this kind of runs into one of our other things on this list, on the wish list.
so let's transition to that then, right?
Okay, so there's switch order.
Yeah. So in going to this beautiful, convenient transition, number 4 on the list is have a personality, be authentic.
Yeah. So you don't need like super beautiful posts and that are written professionally. Like it's actually better if your posts sound like a human being and they're not really beautiful. Like you don't need to have that like Instagram influencer thing going on. If you're, especially for nonprofits, if you're just posting the genuine stuff that's going on with your authentic voice, that's better.
Now, when you say authentic voice, what does that mean when it comes to writing?
So you write like a person. Write like you're texting your friend, not like you're writing a paper for your 7th grade English teacher.
That is a great way to put it, because I was curious how I would explain a difference, and I was just like, man, sometimes when you write it, like it's like robotic, but yeah, it's like there's a difference between what I would write when I'm writing for a paper to a teacher. It's like very formal, and
you're not allowed to say can't. It's always cannot.
And using words that I never would use just to sound smarter.
Anyway. You do that in regular life.
Wow. Well, this is a personality. Is a personality. But yeah.
All the time. Like, did people wonder, like, does he mean that? Oh, now I'm...
People are probably wondering what's in this cup right now. Look at that, Brian.
I'm sorry.
Brian's going bam.
He just sent this email the other week to, like, our clients, and he used a word in there totally wrong, and I was like, I wonder if they read this, and they're like, am I not getting it? Like, what does he mean by that? And I just want to write back to everybody like, sorry, he doesn't know what that word means. And I didn't know what would be worse, if I did that or if I didn't do that. So I didn't do it.
I will say you should do it.
I should?
Because what if in the
They're
case...
super confused.
Yeah. And kind of going to being authentic... This is how this is obviously how she treats me and talks about me.
No,
so
but this
going
was
in the
people
email,
that didn't know me.
Oh, well, then they will now.
Because I wasn't working with them, so they didn't know who I was.
Well, this will help them understand us really quickly.
Okay. Sorry.
And the sad thing is, if my mom growing up was such a stickler for the English language, which is why I don't have what you would consider like a local accent. Like people say that I sound like I came from the mainland. So I sound like that, but I was so resistant towards her teachings and her scoldings. So while I sound like I know what I'm saying, I don't know what I'm saying because she would correct me and I'm like, shut that off. So she's super proud and happy that I have a wife that knows and is educated and is smart, but she's also just like heartbroken that I'm this illiterate and dumb when it comes to language.
Oh my god. Yeah, you fully don't sound like you're from Wine Eye Brian.
Okay. But so as far as having a personality too, like that should be intentional. Like, so before you just go out and be like, oh, Jamie said I have a personality, I'm gonna start like cussing it up and like, no. She means like be deliberate with it. Like really sit down and think what you want, what you imagine your organization's personality to be. Like if your organization was an actual human form, what would they say and sound like? Like what kind of tone and personality would the organization as a person have? And then use that as how you write. Because I think that's where people get lost, where they go, well, I, as Nolan, talk like this, so I'm going to write like that. But it's like, well, no, I have to represent the organization. So I have to think about what the organization as a person would sound like. And that could be like the types of emojis you use or don't use, the types of phrases you use, the vibe you give off. Like, are you playful and whimsical? Are you serious and very introspective? Like those are the kind of things you think about, right? It's okay, you can talk, and it's okay that you beat me up. That's part of what makes this real. Is there anything else to this point?
One thing I thought of, can we talk about Hano? So
I don't know, can we?
Because we work with Hano, and then like one thing I noticed was they posted this for Giving Tuesday. They posted what is that guy's name? Guy Hagi GIF
or meme.
Guy Hagi meme, and it got significantly more engagement than their normal posts, and that was something that I was gonna talk to them about, because it's a different voice. But I don't know how it, so like thinking about what fits with your brand and how far you can push it and where the lines are and what your audience reacts to, what they like. So it's something that is tricky to find. But I think if you can find like the edge of how much yourself you can be, you'll probably get a lot more engagement with your followers.
It's funny because as I'm seeing Brian on here, if I saw more of Brian's personality in his organization's posts, he would be like really hitting the edge there. I don't know if you can hear Nato, as per usual, is snoring, and it's right by the microphone. So again, my apologies. Her eyes are open and she's snoring. Oh, she's one of those creepy eyes open sleepers.
Like you.
Oh, wow. I guess if I'm
be fired.
Yes. Okay, and so for anything else on this topic? Okay, so for our final 5 of 5 things that we wish our nonprofits would know is to take advantage of virtual events. Well, this is a little self-serving because we produce virtual events. The reason why we bring it up is because of the things that we've learned and seen. Not saying, hey, take advantage of virtual events and call us.
No.
We're just saying in general, we've seen so many benefits of virtual events, specifically for nonprofits. So care to, as you start to bring the cup to your mouth, I go, care to share? But yeah.
I think it's just such an easy way to get the word out. Like, oh, my brain just stops sometimes.
So people now are for sure wondering what's in that cup, because it's like
it's coffee.
Well, here's the thing: is for nonprofits, one of the number one struggles they have is communication, getting the word out, getting community awareness about their organization, and having difficulty of explaining that, having difficulty of a platform to share that where it's appropriate. And to Jamie's point, like virtual events has shown to be a really great way to do that when done right, of course.
But it could be like, you don't have to go all in and make like a full on big one, or like highly produced like what we do. Like, I think even, but you don't want to make it be like a Zoom call, like put effort and thought into into what you're putting out and what it looks like. So it's not just a regular Zoom meeting, but if you put intention into it, I think it's such a good way to get views and just get people to know, even the people who are already following you, get them to know what you're up to now.
Yeah, because it's a direct connection to an audience. And the beautiful thing about it is it's, if you choose to allow it to be on demand, it can reach audiences far after the event is over. And it can reach audiences outside of your normal circle. Like for in-person events, it was whoever could make it that day at that time is the only ones who will see it. With virtual events, we've seen that people from across the globe are connecting with organizations, and they are doing so, even days, weeks, months after the event is over. And I think that the convenience of it for the audience to, like, not having to schedule out, I've got to like travel to this venue and stuff. The convenience of being able to see it from their phone, from home, from work, and they don't have to watch it all at one time if they're watching, the tape, recap or replay, and stuff. And it's for many of the instances we've seen, they've expressed how it's less work.
Yeah.
It's easier, or not easier, I shouldn't say easier. It's less cumbersome as far as having.
You need less manpower.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for food. You don't have to have like 30 people volunteering to do the registration table and the favors and all of that stuff. Like, it's faster. You can have more content in there that talks about what you actually do, your mission and your programs, instead of having like mostly be trying to honor people so that their friends buy tickets, which is like, it's great to do, but it doesn't really serve the purpose of letting people know what you're about. So it's more focused on your mission and values and your work, and less focus on selling tickets and feeding people
and entertaining.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too that we've heard from clients, they were able to grow an audience off island, like that they were surprised by, and now moving forward. So for this particular organization, they did a virtual event last year, and then they had a ton of engagement with Outer Island, or not for with. Is that correct? Is the correct term?
Neighbor Island.
Neighbor Island. Okay, with Neighbor Island audience. And so this year they are planning, next year they're planning their next event, which they are planning to do in person. But they were so, now they've gained such a large, significant audience, valuable audience of Neighbor Islanders who aren't able to join, that they're really focusing on ways to have them be involved through, a virtual element and whatnot. But without that virtual experience last year, they would never have gotten that audience and wouldn't have even known that there was a desire for the Neighbor Islands to want to learn and get involved and connected with their organization. So, I mean, that's just a small example of the reach, the power of having reach like that. Yeah.
And you get people who wouldn't buy a ticket for your event because they don't know you and they don't know the people that you're honoring. But we've had like friends who told us that they donated to an organization just because they were watching the event because they had nothing else to do. And then they learned about it and then made a donation. So it's just a good way to let people know what you're about.
And even to that point of letting people know what you're about, when you're at a live in-person event, there are so many distractions. So people at your table that you're having conversation with, and how many times have we been to one of these events where the program included like a video, an overview video of your organization, just to give people an understanding of what you do. And as that video is playing, you just hear all this talk and people going to the bathroom and stuff. And I bet you if you were to survey all of the attendees leaving the event, like, so what does this organization do? A lot of them would be like, oh, I don't know. Like the food was good. Whereas with these virtual events, like you have a captive audience who is paying attention, and obviously they're watching video already because the live stream is in video form. So watching an overview video or having someone come on camera to talk, they're going to get way more attention now.
And doing it as an event instead of like your regular videos that you post just makes it more special, and the intention again of making it an event, I think gets more attention to it, and hopefully your supporters, your current supporters, would be more likely to share it, and so it's not just a regular video.
And so much of the connections with your audience can be made through like the chats and stuff. Like many times we've seen from the virtual events that like so many people are talking in the chats and making connections and stuff like that, in which you don't have that. Like how can you imagine doing that in an in-person event where attendees are like making connections with you as an organization, but also your group as well too. So it just opens up a lot of fun, engaging opportunities to really connect on a deeper level with your audience. And we're not saying do this instead of in-person events. We've said in the past, like, we think there's a place for both.
Yeah.
Like if you can, have both, like do a in-person event and specifically design the program for that experience, and do a virtual event and design the program specifically for that platform, because you're going to get the best of both worlds. You're going to have so much reach that way. So that's why we're saying take advantage of virtual events. There's a lot you can do with virtual events.
And you can really customize it to where your budget is at.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really do that with a live event, but virtual event, you can totally do it just super small.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. Those are our 5 Christmas wish list items that we would want nonprofits to know. For those of you who are like, we've heard this all before, we apologize, but we just think it's important to recap, these things, because it's so important. And as much as we talk about it till we're, in this case, green in the face, people still are not, doing these things. People meaning nonprofits. So we're going to keep saying it until we see that they're all doing it. Yeah.
Should we say that we're going to shift content?
No.
Okay, sorry. We don't talk before we come on here.
Oh, that's obvious. But this is a good, quick, quick in the sense of we usually go like super long. This is a great shorter episode. I think that we could comfortably end it right here. So that's it. That's our 5. If you have any questions or would like to have us go into more detail, or even want us to send you that tips on how to self-shoot your video better and stuff like that we mentioned, shoot us an email and we can get that to you or answer any questions for you. Our email is info@popcm.me. So many people write .com, it's .me. So there it is, info@popcm.me. Or of course you can throw it in the comment section here of the Facebook or YouTube comment section as well. Other than that, do you know if we're going to be on? We're not going to be on next week, right?
No, we're shooting.
Yeah. So next week we will not be having a live episode. But the following week, we are. Yes. So We'll be back next week. So enjoy your week off from
Have
us.
a good nap, Brian.
Thank you, Brian, for joining us. Welcome back home. And we'll see you next week. All right? Are you ready to push your button? Is it
I'm
within
looking
reach?
for it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay. Bye.